week. A lot to get to. Appreciate all of you, by the way, hanging out with us all week. Encourage you to go download the podcast. Danny G read a bunch of the 5-star reviews yesterday. Encourage you guys to go drop a 5-star review for us on the iTunes store. If Danny G reads it and you hear your review read, then he will give you a shout-out on the air, and you'll get an autographed copy of my book. So there's lots of cool things rolling there. Also, it was expected that it was going to be a big statement deadline. But if you remember in the NFL, we talked about this on Thursday and Wednesday as well, and kind of all week, the idea that NFL players had until 4 o'clock Eastern on Thursday afternoon to opt out and decide, you know what, we're not going to play. And relatively few of them actually did so. And to me, this is a good sign that they are comfortable with the overall environment being created in NFL team bubble-ish. I say bubble-ish because they don't have official bubbles, but the health precautions and preconditions that are being put in place. The final numbers that I saw were, first of all, relatively few people dropped out on Thursday afternoon during the deadline. And the reason, I think, is because, as we've been saying all week, if you were coming back and you were going to be physically present, getting tested, all of the things that you've been doing with your team, it doesn't make any sense that you would then decide, after going through all that, at least to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense that you would decide that you're not going to play this season. So the total numbers are 66 NFL players ended up opting out of the season. There are only 17 of them that are starters, and that is a total percentage of the NFL players on rosters of 2.6%. So we give a lot of attention to the 2.6% who decided to opt out, but another way of looking at that is 97.4% of all players in the NFL are choosing to actually play this season, even with all of the dangers that may be out there associated with the coronavirus. Now, I have run through the data until I'm blue in the face with you guys about why the danger is actually not that substantial when you actually look at the data. But because, again, young, healthy people, if you're under the age of 50, you are more likely to die in a traffic accident driving to or from work than you are from the coronavirus. Now, as you get into your 60s, 70s, 80s, as you have health-related conditions, as you get older, certainly risk factors increase. But I think a lot of you are out there and you are deciding to start to make the right decisions for you and your family as it pertains to going back to school and other options such as those. My 9-year-old, for instance, is got school starting tomorrow. Monday, first full day of school. But the school is actually starting today with a half day, and he's going to be hopping on his computer remotely. But my kindergartner next week is going to be at school. My 7th grader is going part-time. He's going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 week, Tuesday, Thursday the next week, and then they're hoping to have everybody back. Everyone out there has unique situations in their own family and in their own life. But I do think this is a pretty strong endorsement of the policies that the NFL has put in place, that only 66 players are opting out. Only 17 of those players are opting out who are starters. So, and the overall percentage of opt-outs among the league is just 2.6%. I think that is a really good sign about the comfort level that many different NFL players have. And I will point this out. In the media, we are giving way more attention to the 2.6% opting out. Every player that opts out is a story. The 97.4% of guys that are not opting out and are coming back is not much of a story at all, and most of us in the media aren't giving them any attention, but I do think that's pretty significant. Now, we're having some college football players start to opt out, and that may continue as we get closer to the start of the college football season. Some of these guys that are first-round picks may feel like, hey, I've got a good excuse now for why I don't need to put my body under pressure by playing this year in college football. I'd rather sit out, hope that things are better, get ready for the NFL Combine. People aren't going to question me for quitting on my teammates for things like that. So we'll see what happens in college football. But a big takeaway here that I think is a very big positive, 97.4% of NFL players electing to play, only 17 starters sitting out, and only 66 total players representing 2.6% of the league actually opting out.